You don't like what I spit, then lick my nuts. Cuz walking around with a stick, so bitch it's up. I'ma make you leave, you keep asking to sip my cup. I don't want your weed if it ain't gonna be leaving me slump. I ain't never met a bitch that I can't hump. I play heavy metal with the blick, watch out, lil' bruh. I be running numbers through the summer, it's algebra. Hey, what up, dog? Gorilla Gang? What it do, my baby? What's happening with y'all, man? Hey, today, right now, at the moment, I hope y'all in the mood to chill, cause we chilling right now, right? And this has been a reaction I've been told a couple times to do since I did that one shit, that top 5 song, that movie. You know, cause bro came on there, he was like, he off that Sizzlac, and then it was like, bro, you gotta actually check out who Sizzlac was. So I'm like, alright, bet. I'm about to go check out who Sizzlac. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go check out bro. So Gorilla Gang International, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you feeling no vibes, man. You hear me?
Me and Fooey niggas don't mix. They calling my name. They calling my name. In the six, 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 six, six. Me and Fooey.
Y'all be throwing them sixes out there like that shit ain't the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga. Yeah, okay. Let's go.
We niggas don't mix. They calling my name. They calling my name. They know I'm a problem. I'm going insane. I'm loading the gauge. I might run upon you and give you the business. You know that ain't finished. My niggas finesse. We up in the wrecks. You know that we drilling. Get hit with the mop. They mop them small.
What you know?
This is 29-year-old Mustafa Omar, better known as Sizzlac or LV. He's
Mustafa Omar, alright.
a Toronto rapper, reigning from the Jamestown, Rexdale area, and a member of the gang IDS, which stands for In the Streets. Sizzlac was fairly new to the rap game, but despite only releasing a couple tracks, he still managed to build up a head of steam with his singles, What You Know About Me, Where Ya At, Chirac, and most notably, Realist in the Six, receiving over 1 million views on YouTube. He also featured on a track called IDS with fellow members Moolah First, Young Dubs, and Pyrex. Sizzlac had some potential, but with only a few songs put out, it looks like he put more energy into his gang and into the streets rather than his music.
You know them niggas like, yeah, I can rap, but I ain't really no rapper though. You know what I'm saying? I can rap though, you know. He strike me as one of them.
This would eventually lead to him not only getting caught up in gang politics and the law, and have some of his actions catch up to him. So today, on Savages from the Six, we'll take a look at Jamestown's Sizzlac. Sizzlac is from a housing complex located on Jamestown Crescent, which is one of the many hoods spread throughout Rexdale, a region of the city that sadly has been plagued by gangs, drugs, homicides, and everything in between. Now what sets Jamestown apart from the other hoods is that most Crip gangs within Rexdale first originated in this complex, before branching out into different splinters. The gang that originally existed was called the Jamestown Crew, before IDS came to be. Sizzlac wasn't just a member of IDS, he was actually the founder of the gang. It was created sometime in the early 2010s, and shares an alliance with the majority of the other Rexdale Crip gangs. But it was a proven bumpy journey for Sizzlac to get to the point of being able to start a gang. Sizzlac was born in Canada, but his background is from Somalia. His parents were part
Them Somalians be wildin', boy. Them niggas do not play. Hey, let's go.
of the influx of migrants from the Caribbean and East Africa that started in the 1960s onwards to the 90s. At the time, people claimed there was tension in Rexdale between Somalians and Jamaicans. Jamaicans migrated to the country and populated Jamestown first, with Somalians following, which sparked problems, as young Jamaican men wanted to control the area under their own terms, and there's also just a clash of culture. It's said that Sizzlac was some sort of revolutionary, starting a movement to bring more power to Somalians in not only Jamestown, but all of Rexdale. Nowadays, you can see that the two groups seem more unified, and gangs consist of both nationalities. This is one of the reasons why Sizzlac was well respected amongst other young men, especially within the Somalian community, and some even labeled him as quote-unquote the most feared Somali in Toronto. Sizzlac and his gang would quickly make themselves known and begin leaving their mark on the city.
If niggas got love like that, dissing on what they did could be very detrimental. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
IDS is the main factor for the high crime rate that Jamestown has seen over the years. Amongst other enemies, one of of their biggest foes are the Driftwood Crips, with several shootings and homicides on both sides being linked to this beef. One of the many incidents happened in April of 2015. It's alleged IDS members were responsible for a mass shooting that happened on Driftwood Avenue. It's alleged 4 members drove down the street and opened fire from their vehicle, aiming at a crowd that was standing outside of some townhomes. A hail of gunfire hit 5 people, but luckily no one was killed. Police ended up tracking down the 4 alleged IDS members, and
God damn, 4 face more than 100 charges in Driftwood shooting. Shit, we gonna make an example out y'all ass.
they all shared 100 charges, a couple being attempted murder and possession of a firearm with a tampered serial number. It's believed the shooting was gang-related and part of the Jamestown vs. Driftwood beef. One of the suspects convicted in the incident was 32-year-old Clifton Vassell, the same man charged with first-degree murder after shooting and killing 47-year-old Andrew Siraj over a gold chain a year earlier, in October of 2014. Clifton was trying to rob Andrew's friend of his chain outside of a club, but Andrew kept intervening. Clifton allegedly ran back to his car, got his gun, came back and shot Andrew once in his chest, killing him. Clifton was already in jail for the mass shooting on Driftwood when he was charged with this murder, and he can be seen in Sizzlak's music video for What You Know About Me. IDS is a ruthless gang, but some members have found themselves on the other end of the gun
Big C's over there, huh?
as well. A popular rapper and fellow member Young Dubs, who Sizzlak had a track with, was shot and killed on a Brampton driveway in May of 2017, the killing seemingly also being tied to a gang feud. Despite which IDS members ended up passing away or being arrested, this group has continuously wreaked havoc around the city, with Rexdale being their stomping grounds. Now before I get more into Sizzlak's past, first we can talk about some of the rumors. Now it can't be confirmed, but it's alleged that he had 5+ bodies. Someone even said he had 6. One user wrote that he killed a few Yaris in the past, referring to Jamaicans. Since there was some sort of Somalian revolution going on at the time in Jamestown, and some tension between the 2 nationalities, it's not far-fetched to think that things would get bloody at some point. As to whether Sizzlak himself got his hands dirty in the clash, well, only people that are...
That's wild, cause them Jamaicans don't fuck around neither. So shit, I know that clash of clans, you feel me? Yeah.
close to him or what some real insider info could tell you. What we do know is that Sizzlac called himself the Molly with the bodies, and this is the kind of reputation and street credit that you need to launch a gang and have people follow behind you. Someone also said he used to be a plug in Rexdale, and considering a post he made on his Instagram of a shoebox filled with bundles of cash, well, he definitely had some sort of lucrative business. Well, to summarize, my research showed me that Sizzlac had a hell of a reputation. With that being said, now let's get into his documented history. His first major run-in with police happened in the early hours of June 6, 2009 in Brampton. Sizzlac was at a crowded house party going on at 8678 Chinguacauzi Road with some of his friends. This gathering of over 100 people was happening at a residence which was reported to have had its fair share of noisy parties. At some point in time, a dispute began between Sizzlac's group and another, which eventually led to close-quarter gunfire inside the home. People scrambled for cover and fled the party.
That's why I don't even be going to parties like that no more. Only time I'm in the function nowadays is if I'm on some performing shit, or maybe possibly one of my niggas performing. Or it's something, bro. I ain't just at the function for nothing, bro, because niggas get to going in that bitch and ain't nowhere to run. If you ain't by the door, you ass out, nigga. Lay down.
Trying to escape the shooting, police and emergency crews quickly swarmed the scene after being alerted that shots were fired in the area. The aftermath, 8 people ended up being shot, 2 of which died. 29-year-old Garth Palmer and 40-year-old Terrence Elliott were both shot multiple times and pronounced dead on the scene. Police didn't have suspects at first, but it was such a massive function with tons of witnesses, so the investigation moved quickly and a name came up. Within a few short weeks, they were able to catch the first of what would be 2 suspects in the shooting. On June 30th, 2009, police had tracked down Mustafa Omar, Sizzlac, to his home, and he was arrested and charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Now this is where we come across another rumor that was floating around. This one being that he snitched on his friend. I guess this is a theory, because at first, the police were only looking for 1 suspect, but once Sizzlac was arrested, then they announced that they were looking for another suspect. A YouTube commenter even claims to have seen paperwork, but I couldn't find this paperwork online or any mention of it.
Don't be using YouTube comments as your research. That's what? I'm digging this video, but come on, bro. Niggas be saying anything in them comments, cuz. I seen the paperwork myself. LOL. Fuck out of here, dude.
Seems like it's just loose gossip without much context, but I still thought I'd quickly address it. I doubt Sizzlac would be able to organize a gang or have the rep that he had if people even had the slightest suspicion that he snitched. But anyways, the police searched for the second suspect, and a few months later, they ended up being successful. On Friday, October 23rd, 2009, the suspect was located and arrested. 21-year-old Justin Bellinger was charged alongside Sizzlac with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Both were formally charged at a court arraignment on the same Friday before being remanded back into custody. Sizzlac and his accomplice would then spend a couple years in jail while they awaited their preliminary hearing. Unbeknownst to them, the police didn't really have a clear picture of what happened at the party. The house was used as an after-hours club and was apparently occupied every weekend, with neighbors calling it a quote-unquote party house. They even had a security guard that frisked people for weapons on entry. The same security guard claims that the guns the suspects used in the murder.
It was a lot of those little after-hours underground party spots popping up during the pandemic, and that shit was getting nasty. Shit was going down in them bitches.
Were elaborately snuck in through a back window of the house. There wasn't any information given about what caused the dispute or if the killings were tied to gangs. Well, it turns out that there wasn't much information about anything at all. Whatever evidence the police had against Sizzlac, it proved to be insufficient because he never ended up going to trial or being indicted for the 2 murder charges. One of them was discharged by a judge in September 2010, and the other one was withdrawn by the Crown in October of 2011. Although Sizzlac did plead guilty to an aggravated assault charge in relation to the same incident and was sentenced to serve 6 months in jail. Adding in the time spent awaiting trial, in total, Sizzlac ended up spending around 2.5 years behind bars. But miraculously, in the end he walked free of both murders. Now I couldn't find out if the co-accused, Justin Bellinger's charges were dropped too, but they likely were, because he was a free man a few years down the road, around October of 2016.
Oh, I was about to say, I was like, ooh, that snitchy. He might have seen that paperwork, but his man got out too. I was about to say, fool. I'm like, no.
When he was arrested in an undercover fentanyl drug bust. Since Sizzlac got out virtually unscathed, it's possible Justin's case had the same outcome. Regrettably, he found himself locked up again anyways. As for Sizzlac, beating the case only boosted his recognition in the city. It also seemed to boost his ego, because he gloats about the outcome of his case, with lyrics in his song, What You Know About Me, rapping about how Gucci Mane only caught 1 body, but he beat a case for 2. Sizzlac.
What's wrong with this nigga? What's wrong with Cub, man? Chill.
Wasn't charged for the 2 murders, so technically he was innocent of the crime. But word of mouth seemed to say otherwise, and this hearsay only solidified his existing reputation in Rexdale. About a year later in 2010, he decided to create IDS. So fast forward a bit to 2012 now. It's been a few years since IDS was founded, and they've become an established gang. This is the year Sizzlac made his introduction to YouTube, hopping on the track IDS. He and other members of the gang musically started picking up traction. 2 years later, in 2014, he would release his single What You Know About Me, and do solid numbers. He remained silent for 2 years, before he would release his song with the most notoriety, Realist in the Six, which brings us to our next event in the timeline. On top of the general idea of the song, which is basically claiming he's a realist in the Six amongst all others, there's more to it. Now this song turned out to be a diss track, aimed at a couple rival gangs. All throughout the video, members can be seen constantly pointing 3 fingers down, a clear diss to 3L, also known as the Driftwood Crips. Sizzlac even goes as far as making the clerk of a store do the gesture too.
Hey, don't do, y'all gonna get this man fucked up, bro. Well, this was like, what, 12 some years ago now? Yeah. But either way, don't be doing that. Y'all gonna get these store clerks fucked up out here. You know what I'm saying? He don't know what he doing. He do not know what he doing.
There are also a few more subtle shots in the video, such as Sizzlac constantly lighting up a cigarette, referring to smoking a pack or smoking an enemy. This is obviously a shot at not only 3Ls, but any fallen rivals to IDS. These mentioned disses aren't the only
He might just be a chain smoker. Come on now, you know.
Ones that seem to exist in this video. In the beginning clips, Sizzlac enters a Chinese restaurant named New Ho King, located in the split.
I'm the new Ho King. King of all hoes. Yeah, I like that.
China and College area. Underneath the surface, this restaurant may have some sort of connection with a Parkdale gang known as HOK, or Heart of a King gang. It's possible that Sizzlac simply being there was a jab at the gang. By Sizzlac smoking in the restaurant, as well as in the alleyway located behind it, he illustrates that he may not only be linked to a fallen HOK member, but that he's also pretty relaxed and comfortable on their turf. New Ho King is the same scene where a few HOK members, including their leader, shot and killed 2 innocent men for apparently no reason in January 2016. It was honestly a brutal killing, and I cover this story in another video if you're interested. And the restaurant's also the scene of a shooting that happened in 2014, but no one was injured. Sizzlac lounging around New Ho King doesn't seem like the only hint he was trying to diss HOK. Sizzlac can also be seen rapping in front of a gray building, which is coincidentally the same spot another Toronto rapper, Easy Ano, filmed a clip for his music video over 3 years prior, and both shots are framed in a similar way. Easy Ano is an avid member of HOK who doesn't shy away from the fact he can be seen wearing all types of Heart of the King clothing in a variety of his music videos.
That nigga banging that shit. He was what? I'm with it for real.
This building may have been somewhere on HOK's home turf in Parkdale, or in some way related to the gang, because it doesn't seem like Sizzlac put in these similar clips by accident. The link between the restaurant New Ho King and the gang HOK are unclear, as well as the story behind their beef with IDS, but there does seem to be some animosity present between them. Easy Ano and HOK will come up again later in the story. For now, we come back to Sizzlac and the Realist in the Six. So he released it, and this methodically filmed diss track picked up quickly and started buzzing around the city. Not only did your average listener tune in, but also the rivals of Sizzlac, and the people who he intended to address in the song. There's no doubt Sizzlac.
Oh shit, he doing the handshake? He might know what he doing. He with the shits, this nigga over there. I'm like, shit, this little store clerk might just be gang. I don't know. I'm not sure, but he was very fluent with that handshake. He's done it before. You know what I'm saying? I think he do it all the time. You feel me?
Had some previous beefs connected to IDS, but this song definitely expedited the process of foes trying to take him out. Realist in the Six was on fire, with views steadily climbing, but it wouldn't be long before the heat caught up to him. We now enter the final chapter of the story. It's the spring of 2016. On the morning of April 23rd, police responded to a reported shots fired at 7475 Goreway Drive, a housing complex in the Malton area, not too far from Rexdale. When they arrived, they found 4 victims suffering gunshots. They were all rushed to the hospital, but sad to say, one man was pronounced dead. The man who died was Sizzlac. It's reported that he was shot multiple times. Neighbors claimed they heard gunshots from outside, so the incident didn't take place inside the party. This information seems to coincide with a comment that someone made online, claiming that Sizzlac was ambushed as he left the party, the killers taking advantage of the fact that he was likely under the influence that night. As far as what happened, there really isn't any details on the news reports covering the shooting.
Shit, he just got caught up. Caught leaving the party, bruh. Caught leaving the party. But shit, when you lit, bro, y'all talking like he might got 5, 6 bodies, bro. When you live that, that's what comes back to you. You know what I'm saying? You put that energy out, that type of energy comes back. That's why niggas say you live by the gun, you die by the gun. Sword, die by the sword. However you want to put it. That's gonna happen, bro. You can't do all that fucked up shit and it's not coming back, bro. That's why I don't trip on nothing. Like niggas that hate on me, niggas just do weak ass shit. Niggas just be on lame shit. You could go back and forth with these niggas, but why? Niggas gonna get their payback. It's gonna happen. You can't keep doing foul shit and end up being good. You know what I'm saying? That just don't happen like that. You keep doing foul shit, it's gonna catch up to you, bro. Every time I was on foul shit, it eventually caught up to me. I ain't worried about payback at this point in my life, because I know how this shit work. I know how the world work at this moment. You hear me? Real deal. Niggas ain't... I don't even gotta respond. Life gonna get you. You hear me? Life gonna get you, because it's real out here.
Giving off the impression that the police didn't really have any leads as to who committed the murder. But obviously with Sizzlak's past, the book was wide open as far as who did it. There is some speculation going around that it was Easy Anal, the same rapper that I mentioned earlier.
I knew his name was gonna come up when it came time to talk about how bro died. Come on, let's get it.
Loose theory is basically due to the fact that he is part of HOK, and it seemed that he was specifically dissed. Easy Anal hasn't been charged, so this is just still a rumor that's floating around in the air. Related to that matter, to this day, no one has ever been charged with Sizzlak's murder, so it remains open to speculation. If it wasn't Easy Anal or HOK responsible for Sizzlak's killing, then it could have been any number of other IDS rivals. Either way, Realist in the Six definitely pissed some people off, to the point where they wanted Sizzlak dead as soon as possible. The news of his death spread quickly, and a variety of different stations covered it. Some people were surprised, but at the same time, some people weren't. People who knew Sizzlak could quickly link his blatant diss track to his death, and it didn't seem like a coincidence, or probably retaliation. His murder...
Damn, dog got killed days after dropping a diss record? Days? Damn.
Appears to be another victim of an ongoing gang war, and his death contributes to the continuing cycle. Even after Sizzlak passed away, an event that may be linked to him occurred in May of 2020. Rising Toronto artist Houdini was shot and killed in a brazen daylight shooting in the downtown area. Houdini...
Man, I fuck with his music too. I done did a couple reactions off Houdini. RP to that man.
He was from Driftwood and part of Wasp Gang / 3L, and arguably the fastest rising artist from the set, which made him a prime target for 3L's long list of enemies. A year earlier, in February of 2019, Houdini featured on a track with YG called Auntie.
Perfect Gang in effect, hit that like button. I done went this whole video and ain't said, but they done showed some ass, so you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Which contained a few shots at IDS. YG had a bar saying, "I got a Dubs in my backy," referring to Young Dubs who was killed, and Houdini's Louis V belt can be seen upside down, some claiming it's disrespect to LV, which was the name that Sizzlak...
He definitely did that on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Niggas be making sure they got their designer shit right. He got that bitch upside down, he did that on purpose.
Used to go by. Some people think those responsible for Houdini's murder are tied to IDS, but nothing can be proven. Driftwood Crips are known to be one of the most hostile gangs in the city, having too many enemies to count on one hand, so there could be an endless amount of suspects.
When little cliques start being like that, they dangerous as fuck, nigga. You got a million, they beefing with everybody, so they don't know where it's coming from, so they be hostile just all the time, nigga. I've seen it happen. I've seen them grow from the, oh, we just beefing with these guys to, oh, we damn near beefing with the whole city. And now, you know what I'm saying, they just don't know who to trust. They be on that with everybody and everything, you know.
In conclusion, Sizzlak had an action-packed journey over his years. He started off as some type of revolutionary for mistreated young Somalian men in Jamestown, and brought needed respect to their nationality and culture. It's unfortunate that Sizzlak went from the defensive, battling Jamaicans for his rightful spot in Jamestown, to the offensive, allegedly committing murders, founding gangs, and making diss records. Sizzlak had a long rap sheet, and what's documented on the internet is probably just dipping a toe in his real history. All the acts he committed over the years finally seemed to catch up to him, and Realist in the Six ended up being the last music from Sizzlak. It's evident that he'll be remembered by not only those in Rexdale, but people in the entire city, whether it be in a positive or negative light. Rest in peace to everyone who passed away in this story, including Sizzlak.
R.I.P. Sizzlak, man, that was Savages from the Six. Man, that was interesting, fam. And that beef still going on because niggas still throwing names out. Still throwing names out. That's the whole reason I'm here. Because, My man Bun Dog. You know, that's the whole reason I'm here. Shout out to everybody that told me to react to this. It was definitely worth the watch. You feel me? Anyway, let me know what y'all thought of this and let me know what I need to react to next. Till the next time, y'all be smooth, stay out the way. So I love, guys. We out.